What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video, and I am excited for this one. I'm sad that it couldn't wait to the off season, but Mock Draft Monday has made its way back, and this is the first edition of Mock Draft Monday for the 2024 NFL Draft. So for that, I am definitely excited. And we are going to go through this process together. So if you don't remember from last year, I do a different kind of mock draft each week. It has a theme. One could be with trades. One could be without trades. One could be, let's take this position in the first round. The other is, let's take that position in the first round. So not all the time is it, hey, like this is my plan. This is what I would do. But I think we're going to start with something relatively easy. So PFF is my favorite mock draft simulator. Right now they have their mock draft going through 6 rounds. So we'll have a few picks to make there. I think PFF's the most realistic one. We will change up the simulators. We'll do some things a little bit differently each week again. But for this one, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to use my favorite simulator. I'm going to do what I would do and no trades, because again, it complicates things a little bit to insert the trades in there. And we're going to do plenty of mock drafts with trades. Like if you're a team, trade down or this or that, or trade up for this, we'll get there. Don't worry. But for this one, again, I want to kind of keep it just more on the basic and simple side. So leaning towards things that I would do, no trades. Let's just keep it nice and simple. All right, let's pull it up. Let's get rocking and rolling again. PFF. I don't like when it's on turbo. I think that's too quick. 6 rounds. New York Jets, who currently hold the number 8 pick in the NFL draft. Let's enter and let's start. Okay, this is perfect. I could not be happier with this opportunity. Yes, there's a couple of trades that are being offered, but I'm not going to even look at them because I think if the Jets are picking right around here, you have 2 options. One is the Penn State tackle Fashanu, who went 2 picks before. The other is Joe Alt, who, again, early in this process, I like Joe Alt a ton. I think this would be a home run selection for the New York Jets. They could very well possibly need 2 new offensive tackles. Mekhi Becton is a free agent at the end of the year. You could bring him back. Dwayne Brown is a free agent. I don't think they will bring him back. It seems like they're going to need offensive tackle help. Also, you have Elijah Vera Tucker, who can play tackle, but moral of the story, Joe Alt, I think, would be a home run selection. I am not team draft a quarterback. Right now, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, to me, are the 3 guys who probably could go round 1. Not a big J.J. McCarthy fan. Jaden Daniels and Michael Penix would be the direction that I would go over J.J., I believe, but I don't think Shador is coming out this year, by the way. But Joe Alt is the pick. That's a long-winded way of me saying Joe Alt is the pick. So the Jets don't have a second rounder. They're, I believe, pick 38 or 39, no, 40 going to Green Bay. There you go. So the Jets are back on the clock at the top of round 3, pick number 72. And okay, see, now this is where I would think about taking a quarterback. Not necessarily where it's like, okay, you got to draft one or you got to, do this or that. But Quinn Ewers is someone who I am kind of interested in, and Michael Pratt. Those are my 2 guys who are developmental quarterbacks. Ewers is someone who is very highly touted going into this year, and has been a little streaky, been a little up and down, and I feel like has some traits, but he also has some things where you're like, man, I don't know if he's ready to play at the next level, which, again, is why he's a day 2 pick at the position and not going in the first round. But if you're going to have someone sit behind Aaron Rodgers and you have a desperate need on the offensive line and Joe Alt is sitting there, I'm taking Joe Alt and I am taking Quinn Ewers in the 3rd round to sit. Maybe worst case scenario, he turns into your long-term backup. This does not necessarily stop you from drafting a quarterback in 2025 if it comes to that. But I am a firm believer of the Jets have to go in with Aaron Rodgers in 2024. You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out and be like, oh, we're going to take a quarterback in the first round and leave our problems at, wider on the offensive line and wide receiver, and just we're not going to address that. We're going to go quarterback instead. I don't think that's wise. So taking a mid-round quarterback, round 3, round 4 is where I would think about it. So this is going to be our selection here. Now, there's a few different ways the Jets could go at this point. They have a pick for the right now. They also have a pick for the future, and I am definitely going with a pick for the right now, which is Zach Zinter, offensive guard, played right guard at Michigan men and on the offensive line. Feels like, again, you can't always scout the helmet, right? But offensive lineman from Michigan, like that. Guard is definitely something that would be a position of need, not only in the short term, but also the long term. Zinter would not necessarily have to play from day one, because you would think that it would probably be, in my scenario, Alt or Becton at left tackle, Alt or Becton at right tackle, Tittman at center. Guard is going to be Laken Tomlinson next year and AVT. Unfortunately, we have seen a billion injuries on the offensive line. So more than likely he would get some reps. But I think this is absolutely a pick that I would make. So 2 offensive line picks in the first 4 rounds. The Jets have made 3 selections, or I have made 3 selections for the Jets, and all 3 of them have been on the offensive side of the ball. And that is not going to change with this pick. The New York Jets have had a horrific offense this year and for a really, really long time. And they just released Michael Carter. They have Izzy Abanikanda, who, they don't really play a lot. He's an explosive back, but he's not there in pass pro yet, so he hasn't really played a ton. But the running back that I like, the day 3 back that I really like, is Marks from Mississippi State. He's 5'10", I believe, let's see what they have him at, 210. But he is deceptively fast. He runs in the 2.4s. He has really good vision and could be a little bit of a short yardage back, I could think. But I would add a running back, because something that was an issue for this Jets team this year was running back. They had Breece Hall, who was really, really good, and then they didn't really have anybody after that. And I am always, you see day 3 running backs every single year as a rookie come in and make an impact. I am very, very big. I'm a very big proponent of drafting day 3 running backs and just cycling them in and cycling them through. And I think he could complement what Breece Hall does well. So let's take him. Now in this one, we only have one more selection left. The Jets will likely have a 7th round pick. They have comp picks as well, which are not a part of the equation, but one more selection at this point. Now, I feel like we've been heavy offense. I'm not going to go all offense. There's 2 spots that I think the Jets could use selections on and use a little bit of help with on the defense. Not enough to the point where I'm saying this is a 1st round pick. This is a 3rd round pick. But if you start to get in like the 5th round, a little bit different. Interior defensive lineman and safety are the 2 picks there. Malachi Moore is interesting, but TJ Sanders, you look at him, 6'5", 298. Interior defensive line is sneaky a need for this team. Al Woods on a 1-year deal. Quentin Jefferson is someone who is interesting, and whether or not he'll be back next year, I think there's a chance that he is, but the Jets could use help on the interior of the defensive line. I know we're tired of drafting defensive linemen. This is not a pick that you're making in the first, again, 3 to 4 rounds, but safety and defensive line are the 2 areas on the defense. Interior defensive line are the 2 areas where I think they could make additions. So I'm going to take TJ Sanders here. So this should round out our draft class. Again, very offensive heavy, which is a need. We are very happy about that, by the way. If they go defense in round 1, I think you might actually see a revolt from the fans. I want to see my grades. Okay. They like my picks for the most part. Joe Alt gets an A. He's my 1st round selection. Quinn Ewers is round 3. Round 4, Zach Zinter, a guard. So you have 2 offensive linemen in the first 4 rounds. Marks, the running back out of Mississippi State, Jaquavius Marks in round 5, and TJ Sanders to round this out. I got an A grade on this draft from PFF, but I want to hear from you guys. What did you think? What did you think of my first one? Would you have done things a little bit differently? I know that there are a lot of people who are team take a quarterback in the top 10. I am a big fan of Joe Alt, so if he was on the board at 8, that would be this is my selection. We'll see where the Jets end up, and as the weeks go on, the mock drafts are going to change a little bit because their draft positioning is going to change as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please subscribe if you're new. If you like the video, if you like Mock Draft Monday, give it a thumb up. That shows me and YouTube, the algorithm, that you like what you see. It's big. It gets me in front of more people if you do that, so I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.